Hello, Central Florida, and welcome to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber and Supply. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and you're listening to my 790 AM WLBE in beautiful Leesburg, Florida. Today's show is also being televised on LSTV, that's Lake Sumter Television, courtesy of Red Apples Media, on Comcast 13, Bright House 498, and Florida Cable number 4. Romac Lumber is leading provider of building materials in Central Florida, and since 1945, local residents have come to depend on Romac Lumber's expertise. With locations in Leesburg, Mount Dora, the Villages on Ocala, Romac Lumber has the area covered for all your structural components you'll need, including doors, windows, garage doors, roof trusses, and a full line of building materials. Today's topic is about building and designing a custom home project. In our first segment, Mike Neese, the owner of American Family Homes, one of Central Florida's best custom home builders, will take us through the process of how to build your dream home. In our second half, Jeremy Lippum from the Romac Lumber Design Center will discuss effective tips for drawing the best set of custom home plans you can imagine. If you're planning a custom home, then you want to pay attention. With that, I want to introduce Mike Neese, the owner of American Family Homes. Good afternoon, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing great, Don. Thanks for having us on your show.
We are happy to have you here. It's a great opportunity to talk to a custom builder, and you've got a lot of projects. Mike, let's take a few minutes to tell our listeners where your business is located and how you can be contacted if someone hears something on today's show that I'd like to get more information on.
Okay, Don, we have our office is located in downtown Eustis off 312 South Bay Street, Eustis. We have our showroom there. We have all of our plans to look at. We can also be reached by phone, 352-589-6004. Then we have a website, of course, Mike, at AmericanFamilyHomesInc.com, or just go to our website, AmericanFamilyHomesInc.com.
And you do have a great website. I went and checked it out before today's show. Your website has testimonials. It has bringing folks through the process, and it really one of the most effective custom home sites I've seen. Once again, if someone wants to check you out on the web, what's that website address?
You'd go to American Family Homes. You always got to make sure you put the S there, then INC.com.
What areas in Central Florida do you construct custom homes in, Mike?
We try to stay within about a 45-minute drive of our location, and just in order so we can make sure we're staying on top of our projects. That would include cities like Salt Springs, all the way down to Claremont, Groveland, Lady Lake area. Those would be kind of the areas that we would cover.
Let's talk a little bit about the custom home building process, because quite frankly, a lot of people get confused in it and they have issues with it. You have told me off there that you think you need to start with the design process before you hire a custom builder. And I think you have a unique perspective on it. Give us your thoughts on the initial part of, say someone's watching the show today and their goal is to finally build their dream home. What would you recommend they do first?
Well, we see it all the time. We have a lot of customers that have had a home design and come to our office and ask us to give them a quote based on their design. And what we found is a lot of cases, these home designs are something that design more than what they can afford. So what we do, and we've been real successful at, is when a customer comes in, we've got several things in mind. We've got a budget, and most people have a budget they got to work with. We have lifestyle needs, would be with regards to bedrooms, baths, and those kinds of things. And what we do is we sit down with them, we go over the plans that we've already have in stock, and we try to accommodate them by looking at our plans, designing something based off of a plan that we've already got, or starting from scratch. We haven't built the same home twice. We pride ourselves in being able to match their budget with their needs and give them a really quality home.
Now, Mike, a lot of people have resistance about giving an upfront budget, and for some reason they're concerned if they tell a builder, well, my budget's $175,000, and they're going to try to give them a $140,000 house for $175,000. But that really can't work in a custom home, because the first determination is how much home can you afford. So really, that trust in you or the builder has to be there, doesn't it?
It does. You have to kind of know what you want to spend. And I see what you mean. We do have some people that are reluctant about it. They think that maybe they're not getting the better deal because they're letting you know what they can afford. But bottom line is, they when you go look at any home, car, or any type of a major thing that you're purchasing, you have to be up front and kind of know where you need to look. And that's what we do. Some people don't know actually until we start finding that out. We have several lenders that we work with that help to pre-qualify them, so that way they'll know what their max is. You don't have to spend everything that you can borrow, but you can also spend less. Sometimes spending less, we can still get you what you want.
The other thing I've run across, a lot of people will buy plans over the internet. And historically, a lot of the plans are being done out of the state of Florida. They'll buy, and a common mistake, and you tell me if you've run across this, someone from the Northeast will want to duplicate a house that's built in the Northeast in Florida. I've seen in many cases in our services, though, you can't build that plan because of the Florida codes, or there's problems with getting it engineered. Isn't that one of the reasons why you should probably use someone local and who understands the codes down here?
That's a good point. Exactly true. There's a whole bunch of different criteria that you've got to deal with once you get past Georgia into Florida with the Florida Building Code. We're more concerned about things that have to do with wind versus ice and snow that you have up north. So it does make the houses built differently. We can use some of the floor plans, but from an engineering standpoint, it would be a differently designed home.
And it does have to have an engineer seal, so any modifications, it still will have to have some type of new engineering seal put on it, won't it?
Yes, it'll have to be designed for the Florida Building Code.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people ask this question, Mike. They want a new home. They're dreaming about this new home. They want to do the plans, but they don't have the lot yet. Do you recommend that they get the lot, the building lot first, and then design the home, or how do you fall out on that?
Well, we've done it both ways. People have owned property 5-10 years, and then they said we finally can now build our dream home on their property, and that's great. We've done that. We've also had people walk in the door and say, we want to have something more rural outside of a community, and we need help finding some property and having a home designed and built on that. We can help in both aspects. Knowing what the property is going to help determine some of the design criteria for your home. So,
Yep.
So it's kind of like almost a hand-in-hand thing. Also, some lot sizes can determine, the widths. If it's acreage, you really have a lot less restrictions, so you can kind of do whatever you want. But we like to be able to see the lot. If it's on a lake, some very nice features on the property that we want to make sure we design the house into. Also, some of the costs associated with it. So I've had some people come in and say, we've got this lot and this lot. This one's $10,000 more than this one, so we're thinking about going with the less expensive one. But one thing you got to keep in mind, too, there could be other site conditions that they're not aware of. Heavily treed, could be a low-lying area, those types of things. So in some cases, we're with our customers and we help them through the process of telling them, hey, here's the lots, here's some of the cost differences between the two with related to just the site itself. So we're able to help people stay inside their budget, pick a lot that works for them.
Well, Mike, the other issue is someone's got a plan and they're looking for a lot. They're going to need your expertise on what lot that will fit. For example, not all houses will fit on every lot. So, for example, you can help people through that process too to make sure they get the right lot.
Yeah, we work that. We have a broker's license, and we have another side section of our business that we can help people with that.
Okay, so part of your business, you can secure lots and help them through that process.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. We're having a great conversation with Mike Neese. He's the owner of American Family Homes, and they're one of the great custom home builders right here in Central Florida. And Mike, I've often wondered, someone comes to your office and they sit down in front of you with a white piece of paper and empty notepads. How do you capture the dreams in their minds and put pen to paper?
Well, we've got, there's several ways. First thing, I always start off with, the most important items. Common things that we hear are the kitchen, master bathroom, some of the new things that are going on today with the styling is people are interested in more of an open plan with the kitchen out to the great room. You're starting to see a little less inquiry on having living rooms. Those were kind of gone to the wayside. But we start off with the most important items and go down the list, and we try to incorporate those. Now we have over 200 plans, stock plans that we already have in our office. In some cases, we use those as a point of reference. We'll come up with the budget. The budget allows us to figure out basically what size home we're looking for. And then we go, okay, they want a nice size kitchen, this size master bedroom, and then we can say that takes this amount of square footage off of that, so this is what we're going to have left over. So then we try to divide those spaces up to where it works for them. But using our plan book, we can go through our plan book, and oftentimes somebody will say, well, we love this kitchen, and flip over 5 or 6 more pages, and we love this master bathroom with a walk-in shower, that kind of thing. So we incorporate those different pieces into their plan.
So essentially, you're using your over 200 plus plans as templates for people to build other custom homes. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's true. And then with the other items on the internet, people are bringing in stacks of things, pictures and stuff too that we try to bring into their plan.
You mentioned the internet, and I know a lot of people are using the internet for reference guides to build homes and do plans, but it's also too bad a lot of the stuff on the internet doesn't come with price tags.
That's true.
Because there's a lot of people who wants are outstretching their needs, correct, and their price levels.
That's true. Another thing that I think we do really well is people come in with a lot of really great ideas. In some cases, some of them are expensive and outside their budget, but we've been able to design some of the really nice features in these homes. And what we'll do is we're just creative the way we do it. We can put some really high-end features into a home, 1 or 2 here and there, that give the home an entire different feel.
Well, the way you're telling me about your process, it sounds to me if someone had a $250,000 budget and they came along and they wanted a 3,000 square foot home and they wanted granite and they wanted this, you could quickly tell them that they're beyond their budget in some cases and really save a lot of time. Do you find that happening often?
Yeah, we that has happened, but we work with people.
Yeah.
So we're able to, we don't turn anybody away. There's usually a way in which we can achieve what their goals are.
Okay.
And that's what we try to do.
All right, now if someone is planning a home, what do you charge for the initial consultation, Mike?
Initially, we just meet with them. There's no cost involved. We just try to see where they're at with their project, answer questions, advice, and that kind of thing. And then we kind of get to know each other. And then once they decide really to kind of go with us, we start the sketching process. We'll sketch up a floor plan with them, give them a ballpark idea where the house will probably end up based on their features that they want. In our showroom, we have our wood floors, tile, our faucets, and all the things that we include in our homes. And they're able to look and see and touch and feel what we've included. So it helps me to make sure we're within our budgets. And then it's just a very minimal cash down, and then we take from sketch into go to the AutoCAD.
Okay. A couple of questions. Where is your showroom again, Mike?
We're located in downtown Eustis at 312 South Bay Street in Eustis.
Now, give us the short directions, because this program goes out to a lot of people. What would be a good landmark that you're close to, Mike?
Well, just from downtown, we're about 2 blocks. If you're going south, in Eustis. In Eustis, the road splits. You had a north 19, basically, and the south 19. We're on the southbound side, just a few blocks from downtown. There's Langston Golf Carts right there, right next to us. People are familiar with that place.
Okay, so you've sat down initially with people. You've given them. They've shown what they've got, and you've shown them what you got, the options. You come across with a budget. How long a process is it before they can actually get the initial plans? What's your typical lead time?
Well, from the start to the plan design process, it can take on average 30 to 60 days for that process. If there's financing involved, that can take on a construction loan roughly 45 to 60 days.
And that's something a lot of people don't realize. A bank can look at your lot and look at your plan and appraise it, can't they?
Yes.
And a lot of people think that's a difficult process, but they do it all the time.
We make it seamless too. We've got lenders that we work with that we can go with a customer that doesn't own a lot already. We can secure the lot and the house and do it under one closing, and do a construction loan just as seamless as ever. If somebody already owns the lot, of course, it's a little bit simpler. The construction loan, it wraps in the lot with that if there's any money still owed on that property, but otherwise it's just a regular construction loan.
Well, Mike, it sounds like you've got a lot of experience, and we really hadn't talked about that. How long have you been building custom homes and doing this?
We've been in business in Eustis for 10 years.
So you've been here a while.
We've been here for a while. We've built quite a few houses. Again, none of them the same. We've been very successful at making our customers happy.
Well, with your book of 200 home plans, that tells you a lot how many houses. You've got quite a book. You're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber, and we're having a tremendous conversation today with Mike Neese. He's the owner of American Family Homes out of Eustis. We're talking about the process of building a custom home with one of Central Florida's best custom home builders. Mike, I'm going to ask you the big question. When you think about people building custom homes these days, what's the biggest mistake most people are making?
I honestly think that one of the things that I see quite frequently is the whole process of the initial process of not really knowing what a house costs, what their budget is. I think it's very important that a customer get with a lender, at least get kind of pre-qualified to see where they'd be at with that, and then find somebody they trust to work with them on the house design. Because when you spend thousands of dollars on having a house plan design and find out later that you can't build it, it's very disheartening. And then this has happened several times, and we've gone in and restructured the house to make it fit budgets. But when a person's hopes are up, and then you got to tell, hey, this house is 500 square foot too large. We've got to figure out something to take out. It's kind of hard to swallow that.
So you try to set expectations at the beginning and not have these surprises, it sounds like.
That's correct, yes.
During the construction process, and I know most custom builders work on draws and stuff, especially finance and even cash deals. Talk just briefly how you get paid in a process of building a custom home.
Okay. Yeah, the construction draw process is very simple. Every lender has their own way in which they determine the percentage complete, and then very simple. You call them up after you get about 20% complete based on their little chart they'll give you, and they cut a draw check through the homeowner. If it's a cash deal, we have our own draw schedule that we have on our agreement that you'll go through and you'll see. We also sometimes will have monies put in escrows to help cover the cost of construction too. There's several different ways that we work with the cash, a cash only type purchase. But
so if someone came in there, Mike, and they've done the plans, they've got the financing, all the paperwork's in line, what happens after that?
After that, we start moving toward permitting. The plans are in line. Assume we've already done the appraisals and the financing's done. We go into permitting, and then we start our color selection process.
Well, as a licensed contractor builder, with fully insured, you will never ask someone to pull their own permits, will you?
That's correct. It'll never happen.
And if a client's ever, if a homeowner's ever asked by a builder to pull a permit, that's a big sign that there's a problem, isn't it?
That's correct.
All right, so you've started, you've got the permits. The permit process usually takes, I've heard 2 to 4 weeks. Is that about the length of it nowadays?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so you've got the permit. Just real briefly, how's the house going to come together?
Well, we try to get as much done during the process of permitting, that, like you said before, roughly 2 to 4 weeks. We try to get with our customers, and we have a color selection process. We have to pick out the flooring, the paint colors, cabinetry, appliances, all that stuff has to be detailed and selected. Once we have the permit, we've got those colors and things that are chosen, we start the building process. And depending on the house, site condition, that kind of thing, it's taken roughly 5 months from the day we get the permit to the day we hand the keys over and the customer starts enjoying their home.
How involved should the customer, your client, be involved in the building process? Should they come out and inspect it every other day, or what's your recommendation if you're building a custom home for someone? We have
homeowners that live on site.
Yep.
That we see them on a daily basis. We're open to anything. We're out there to make them happy. So we've got support staff out in the field that work for me, superintendents likewise that work with our customers and to make them satisfied. So we also have several planned meetings that we do, like a pre-drywall walk, electrical walk, where we'll specifically meet with a homeowner to discuss specific items. But on the other end, we're always available to meet. We see the homeowners in some cases once or twice a week on the job site, answer questions, talk about possible changes for the plan.
I hear one of the biggest complaints from most custom home builders is getting people to make up their minds, to pick out the colors, pick out the cabinets and stuff. How critical is it for people to be decisive when they're building a custom home? Because if you paint a house and they don't like the color, someone has to pay for it to be repainted, don't they?
That's correct. What we do, we try this, we get on this at the very front. As soon as we're done with all the plan processes,
yep,
and we move forward to the financing stuff, we switch gears to those selections. We have design people that do our cabinetries, that do a design for you, a 3-dimensional design. Same thing with our flooring, and also our appliance packages are all put together at our appliance showroom. But that's a very important role or milestone to get complete, because as the house is being built, you don't want to run into any surprises. So we start that at the very beginning, because what we'll find is once they go meet with the cabinet designer may enlighten them on a couple other options they didn't think about, so we can incorporate into something they haven't selected yet. But this allows us to make sure that they're seeing the entire house completed and able to get any changes needed to make sure they're going to be totally satisfied.
Well, Mike, it sounds like you've got a wonderful concept for building custom homes. Just one quick time, if someone needs to get a hold of Mike Neese at American Family Homes, what's your phone number they can call you at?
Area code 352-589-6004.
And you have a great home warranty, a 2010 warranty on most of your homes, don't you?
Yeah, they all come with a 210 warranty.
I want to thank Mike Neese from American Family Homes for being our guest today. He's one of Central Florida's great custom builders. And when we return, we're going to talk to Jeremy Lipham from Romac Lumber about steps in designing the best plans for a custom project. See you in a moment.